Morning. I wanted to talk to everybody about basically what I think is happening with our art today, b-boying, breaking in general, and why it's getting so whacked, to say the least. It's starting to lose its value. And I think the majority of this is basically due to the lack of knowledge from, or the lack of expression, I guess, even from the people that have been doing it for long, and they haven't explained this, they haven't brought this to the new generation, and now everybody's getting confused. And even some of the older generation, maybe they don't realize this, but brought out a dictionary just so I can explain what I'm trying to say here. So we're going to go basically from art first. We're going to start with the word art. And it says here, specialized skill or knowledge, facility, knack, a medium of aesthetic expression, unified by its own body of principles and historical development. The representational arts are graphic or plastic art, painting, sculpture, and architecture, a branch of academic learning, cunning, or craftiness. And this is where I think the problem is. People are starting to confuse art for craft. And that's why we have so many b-boys coming out that are, they're thinking logically. They're like, well, I want to be able to just do all these moves so that in a battle, so that when a song comes on, I can express myself in whatever way I want. The freedom of being able to express yourself on the spot, however you want, is probably the best tool you can have to create art however you want, whenever you want. You have more freedom to express yourself when you're able to do all these moves. But the problem is people are only focusing on the freedom to being able to express themselves, and then they have nothing to express because they're not growing or developing as people, because all they're focusing on is the physical ability. There's nothing going on up here. There's nothing going on in here. They don't understand the music. Yes, they hear it. They understand rhythm, but that doesn't do anything to them. They don't express anything because there's nothing to express. They're always just doing the same thing. And that thing is mechanical. It's being able to move your body in certain ways, right? So the definition of craft, so that people understand what they're doing, says guile, cunning, artifice, trade, manual art, a vessel. I think that's the best way to look at it here. A craftsman, a skilled artisan, right? So our craft, our moves, our foundation, even our foundation, because that was a problem too for a while. Our foundation is our vessel of expression, but there still has to be the substance. What is the substance we're expressing? And this isn't just with b-boying. I mean, hip-hop has gone downhill this way a lot too. You get a lot of little kids, myself included in the past. I used to want to, because I saw graffiti, I liked it, and then I'd go around and just draw something because I liked it. But what was I expressing? Drawing, nothing. Just I wanted to be part of it. And MCs have done it even worse because, to quote Black Dot from The Roots, I don't know what they're rapping for, because all they're doing is, yeah, they got skills, they got crazy flow, good rhymes, but they don't say anything. It doesn't mean anything really. Same thing with b-boying. You get all these people doing crazy moves, which, to be honest, it's not that impressive. I know some people get crazy about, how impressive a move and how hard it is, but you spend enough time, a chimp can learn a move, okay? Anybody can learn a move. The younger you are, the easier. So yes, respect for the dedication and devotion and the blood and sweat that went into learning that move, but this is an art. This isn't a competition. This game, this hip-hop, is about being a person that you can express to someone else. This isn't a contest of strength, right? This isn't who can do the hardest move, and that's the most depressing thing I can say about b-boying today. That's what it's coming to. It's coming to a lot of people are just like, yeah, you can do this. Well, I can do this. Ha, good for you. I haven't done a huge amount to the scene. Very few people know me and all this, but the people that do know me, I know people have come up to me and shown me respect for some of the things I've done. And, when I think back about it, what have I done? I haven't won anything special. I haven't, I don't have the craziest moves or anything, but the people that have given me respect have given me respect because of the person I am. And the person I am, even though they haven't met me in person, it comes out when they see me at a jam. It comes out because of my attitude. And I don't mean attitude like being in everybody's face. I mean my attitude like, yeah, I'll enter by myself in a 3-on-3 just because I want to dance and I got nobody to enter with, right? My character comes out in my moves. Even though they're simple, small moves, my character comes out in them, right? They can see me. That's not to do with the craft. Now, I think the proper way for a b-boy to grow in this manner is you develop your style first, because style you can't really practice. Style is developed. It's not something you mechanically work at, right? So you develop yourself as a person, and this doesn't just mean dancing, right? When you dance, you're supposed to think about who you are, how you handle any situation, not how you handle practice, not how somebody else handles a certain beat. You know, I see people at jams. They hit one beat the whole jam. They hit one drum or something or one lyric, and they start going like this. And all you're doing is you're showing the world that all you heard is one beat. You know, your footwork, every step is supposed to hit the beat, not just one freeze or standing up or something. So anyway, I'm digressing now, but the point is, there's a difference between being artistic and being crafty, right? There's a difference between being able to create and being able to execute. That's getting lost. So that's where my heart's at. That's something I'm working in myself as well. So it's not something that's, you know, it's easier said than done, but it is something that needs to be worked on, especially if we want b-boying to continue as an art and not to turn into a sport. Otherwise, think about, you know, singing. And someone can create a song, but very few people can create it, but a lot of people can play it. Anybody that can play the guitar can play a song, but not anybody can create it. That's the difference. Anyway, peace.